Yes, good morning to you, Chris. This is Komamboga, and this should be part of Nakawa or Kawempe. But today, and from last evening, at least those who are applying in the western and southern part of Uganda have a smile because buses applying from Kampala or coming from that side of western and southern Uganda are now able to cross Katonga. Previously, they've been going through Mpigi connecting to Sembabule after the bridge at Katonga collapsed. But of course, we know that Uganda National Roads Authority sometime allowed those vehicles, light vehicles, to access that part of Katonga after some works were completed, were done partially. But now let me speak to the Corporate Affairs Manager of Uganda National Roads Authority. Last evening, they issued a statement on the development. This is part of the progress they are trying to see that Ugandans have enjoyed the travel from Kampala towards that western southern part of Uganda, and this is good news to many of our travelers, especially now as we draw closer to the festive season. Good morning to you, Alan.
Yes, good morning. How are you? Good to see you today.
Good to see you too. First of all, bring us to speed on the works that are ongoing at Katonga Bridge. Yes. Since May, transport has been paralyzed that side.
Yes. At the moment, I need to maybe good news again is we've already commenced with the works on the diversion at Katonga. You know, we had promised at the end of May, when we restored that section to light traffic, we had promised that we will be opening to light vehicles, and we did. But we also said that we would be undertaking phase 2 of these works. That is construction of a diversion at Katonga. So we embarked on this work. We relocated the power lines and other utilities around the diversion. We've already tried to clear that space, and the works are now ongoing. Now, what that will mean is we'll be able to have all nature of traffic back at Katonga, but using a diversion. What will happen this side, where we are currently using, is now the site for the permanent works. So while we're doing now, when we graduate to permanent works, we'll have traffic using the diversion, so there will be no paralysis whatsoever.
And what does this mean? Because someone may be excited, bus managers at stations, you can go now, those who are trading and maybe trying to bring in some matoke, everything like that, they could be ready to load everything they can come across.
Yes.
What should that bus or manager or driver should be considering when they're loading the people and the goods?
Yes. As you know, roads are the lifeline of our economy. Without roads, or where we have bottlenecks, business is cut off. Traders are cut off. You may have had traders in Lukaya complaining, up in arms, the businesses are closed. But equally, the bus drivers hardly had to endure the longer journey. And therefore, some even hike the fees or the travel fees. But we hope that now there's going to be a bit of calm, that business is now resuming. We're allowing the buses, and steadily we'll probably take on other traffic, who knows, because we need to study this section to see if it can withstand all traffic. So for now, from lighter vehicles, we've now graduated to the buses. So that's where we are at the moment.
And when you look at the statement you issued last evening, you talk about 30 tons.
Yes.
I know for now there is no way bridge at Katonga. Someone can just load whatever he comes across. This also put construction works at Katonga at a path that is not so good for you as contractors, or the contractors that is CCC, but also UNRA, the works that are ongoing there. Those who will be loading more than 30 tons.
Yes. No, we plan on having a way bridge, because we know some people may not respect the restriction, yet it is actually very important. It's essential that we have a restriction, or we may head for a catastrophe. And that is why we cannot allow all traffic. You know, and even now we're saying only buses. So if we don't have restrictions at a section that we know is still under investigations and study, we may have a disaster. So we call on motorists and all others of other goods vehicles to be patient with us at the moment, to allow us to study this situation and move the systematic approach.
And when do you expect that maybe complete works will be done that side of Katonga?
Diversion. Yes, now that we've commenced the diversion works, we hope that in about 3 months, we know that by Christmas now all traffic should be able to use Katonga, all nature of traffic. Now that is our program and timeline, so we hope we are able to score on that.
And then this Katonga was like a wake-up call to many, especially you as UNRA. We know there are other roads in Butambala and PG that also are equally in a bad state. But now we also know that we are in a rainy season. Even now it's trying to drizzle lightly. As we go into heavy rains, of course, the meteorological authority has already issued a warning. What are you doing and how trying to make sure that, yes, our roads don't get washed away and other trucks those drivers who are using these the roads?
That's a good observation, Stephen. I want to let you know that at times like this, we get our preparedness high. You know, we get into a state of high preparedness, especially at times like this, or when we get such alerts. We already created within us an emergency response unit to move out and ensure that sections that are cut off, or for any bottlenecks that are as a result of cut-offs or flooding, are restored as soon as possible. So that's what we're doing. So we are alert. We've already mapped out which parts of our networks can be affected, especially the low-lying areas, and we are vigilant. So should there be any happening, we'll be there to move in.
Still at Katonga, I saw when the bridge collapsed, the telephone lines, the electric poles were also affected. The situation now, as you try to work on the road, but also this part of the engineers are also trying to electrical, these other suppliers also want to make sure that whatever you're doing also not affect their work also. How is that in place? Are you trying to also work upon that?
Of course, we work in harmony. For example, I told you that we couldn't undertake the relocation of utilities without the support of UMEME and other relevant authorities. So we've been working with them. So we're working in harmony. And even when we put our materials there, the contractors' items and all other required materials, they were safe. They were not by way interrupting traffic or any other business. So we have to work in harmony with the existing environment.
You as Uganda National Roads Authority, I saw recently you've had a series of meetings with Uganda Police, especially Traffic Department, Ministry of Works and Transport and other relevant authorities, like even Parliament, trying to see they ensure road safety. But you still have challenges on the road, those roadside markets. Still up to now, some markets have not been relocated as by one of your resolutions. What's happening? What's the latest? What are you doing now to ensure that there is road safety in regards to those people who encroach on the roads?
Oh well. We had the Fika Salama Extra program launched, but however, you're bringing in another issue of the roadside markets. Yes, part of our mandate is to protect our road reserves, and by way of doing that, we engage all those that are putting up activities, those residing with business makeshifts within our road reserves, to vacate. In fact, we've written to them severally and reminded them. Lately, we've actually been enforcing. We were around Bukoto, along the Kampala Northern Bypass, enforcing. So the other action we're now taking is enforcement, because we know it's unsafe to trade in a road reserve. But also, those businesses tend to occupy the space where pedestrians actually would utilize to move, thereby rendering the pedestrian safety at risk. So we're engaging them to vacate our reserves as soon as possible. And this is an activity that we are embarking on already.
Okay, maybe my final word to you and also the viewers. Now that Katonga is now open for the buses, does it also mean that those who are driving trailers or other long vehicles are also able to cross Katonga?
No, we only permitted buses. So we only permitted buses. It is buses at the moment, and lighter good vehicles or lighter vehicles.
So when do we expect those longer vehicles, the trailers, to bring in Matoke, to bring in other mechanized from western and southern part? Because this is a route that connects also to Rwanda, to Burundi, those who are trading, regional trade, that will also benefit the people who are applying to that side of the country.
Yes, like I indicated, we are opening up in phases. And for us, this is, we know that roads are a backbone of our economy, that without connectivity, business is cut off. So we're doing all that we can in our powers, with our capacity, to expedite those works so that we can allow full restoration of traffic. That's what we're doing at the moment. But we cannot all at a go pound all nature of traffic at this section. So we're saying let's move systematically. We moved from lighter vehicles, graduated to now buses. Who knows what next will open up?
Was there traffic? Was there pressure from bus owners and drivers?
Definitely, there's pressure from everyone. There's pressure from heavy goods vehicles. There's pressure from the buses. There's pressure from the traders in Katonga. There's Lukaya. So there's pressure from everywhere. And like I said, roads are the lifeline of our economy. Whenever there is such a bottleneck, anticipate or know that there will be an outcry. And this is what we must respond to as soon as possible.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much, Alan. I can assure you that now that Katonga has been opened for the buses, I know the fuel prices are rising, and even where I'm standing now, I can see here at Total Komamboga, the petrol is going beyond 5,000, and then diesel is going towards 5,000. That is also welcome news for you who is driving a bus. You've been using a longer route through Mpigi to Sembabule, but now you are able to cross Katonga. That is some good news from UNRA. Stephen Imbide, I have now to say thank you so much for being a part of Morning at NTV from 6:30. Chris Higenyi and Priscilla Regina Naroga have been with you until the time we had a chat with you. For now, we take a short commercial break, and then Morning at NTV comes to an end, and we see